So welcome to my game room. Some of you have probably seen some videos over here before rather than the studio, and usually when I pull you into my game room to do product reviews, it's more or less that real raw, let's test this product together, right? And that's what we're going to be doing today. We're going to be testing the new microphones from Razer, being the Seiren V3 Chroma and then the Seiren V3 Mini. You can see them right here. Here's the Chroma. Here is the Mini. They are not plugged in right now. What you're hearing right now is my ever so favorite microphone for years now is the Elgato Wave 3. I have the shock mount and the windscreen on right here. And I got it on a basic stand just to keep it kind of fair. But again, I wanted to kick it off with this so you can hear what I love and what I've been using for so long. And as far as any of these tests, I will not be tweaking any sound. This is straight plugged up, played, pressed record, and that's it. No tweaking in editing or anything, or no adjustment within the sound. We'll also test the Seiren Mini up to the old Seiren Mini. And then I also want to test it just to one other budget microphone, being the new Logitech Orb microphone here. And again, as far as in this price range, it's going to stack up to, again, my favorite Elgato microphone. First, a quick word from our sponsor, being Soundcore and their new Boom 2 from Anchor. Stick with me. This is a good one. The Soundcore Boom 2 features 60 watts with a built-in subwoofer and dual tweeters, but you can also press the bass up button and pump it out to 80 watts. Hold up. How about I just give you a quick listen to it? Now, again, take into account you're going to my microphone and out from your sound source, so it's going to sound a little bit different, but hopefully this gives you a pretty good example. I'm going to kick it off with 50% volume here with the bass boost volume off, so we're going to be at that 60 watts. Maybe tone down your volume a little bit because it might get a little loud. This is with the bass button off. Listen to the detail of the highs, still with them tweeters. I'm going to go on and hit the bass button right now. Bass button off, bass button on. So hopefully you all were able to experience that a little bit going through our multiple sound sources here. But the cool thing is, even when I hit that bass boost right there and brought out so much more bass, the clarity boosted as well. Those tweeters really came to life and you still had that nice detail. It wasn't bass that drowned everything else out. Now, while we're on the topic of sound, let me show you the app real quick where you can select your Boom 2, adjust your volume, play, pause, your bass up right in the app as well. And you can also come down here and select a preset EQ or come down here and create your own EQ and actually get in there and adjust it through each different band. And yes, you're seeing that right down below there, lights. You can adjust the lighting. You got multiple effects to choose here, the brightness, and you can also turn the lights off. And as you're seeing them lights right on the side, they'll actually go right to the beat of your music. Now, one of my favorite things about the Boom 2 is the portability of it. It's not even that heavy. Whenever you put it on a scale, you're gonna see it comes in at 3 pounds, 11 ounces. And for someone like me that's always out on the road, moto camping and such, I can take this speaker, just throw it in a bag, and it's convenient and lightweight and fits anywhere. And when you compile that sound with the portability, it's like, wow, how's that happening? But hold up, I'm talking about using this outdoors at campsites or moto camping. What if it gets wet? Well, luckily, it's IPX7 fully waterproof. You know what? We're just gonna go on, take the hose to it and spray it down here and see it's still pumping out them beats while it's getting sprayed down with some water. And to top it all off, it's only gonna come in at $130. This is easily the best portable Bluetooth speaker, packing subwoofer and tweeter and this kind of sound under $150. To find out more or to pick up your own Soundcore Boom 2 portable speaker, make sure to check out the links right down in the description. And hey, let's make it even better. Right now, you can save an extra $10 off by using my link down below. So let's kick it off with a bang and test the V3 Chroma. Again, we're coming from the Wave 3 and now you're hearing the new Razer Seiren V3 Chroma. And if you're curious, why I have this right here is just so you can hear my ambient room noise. I have the door open and I have a ceiling fan on and my PC's chugging. Again, I want that real life environment testing, not sound dampening and everything tweaked to make it sound better. I want to, again, test it in that real world environment, and that's what you're hearing here. Now, what you're seeing on the microphone, you're seeing it kind of change colors. I'm going to go quiet for a second. It'll go off, and then when I'm just talking regular, it's kind of green and yellow. Now, if I come up on it and talk loud, you'll see it'll get red. I really love that. You actually go into software and adjust it to do audio meter, which is what you're seeing here. Now there's all sorts of other things you can adjust as far as breathing, fire, different RGB effects, but its audio meter is super cool to let you know, hey, is your volume peaking? You can go in there and also adjust the dial. Is it going to do microphone volume or your headset volume? You got stream mix in there where you can adjust all that stuff. And then of course your lighting where you can adjust more whenever you're cranking up your volume or on your headset or your microphone, it'll show you that indicator as well. So really cool features within the software. But I really love this right here, showing you again, are you peaking? Right here, I'm kind of on it midway and you're seeing it kind of peak into the yellows. Now if I come back a little bit here and talk here, see it stay more in the yellow. But if I bring it up here a little bit more and maybe more into my face, you'll see it get a little bit more orange right there. Really cool to give you that notification. Okay, yo, let me quiet down a little bit so I'm not hollering into my microphone. Now you saw it get red there because I banged it on the desk, which I'm kind of curious about. I'm going to turn off my keyboard here. And I want to do a quick keyboard test. Say if I'm typing, just put the microphone behind it right now, and then we'll test it in front. So that's with the microphone behind it. Now this is the new Corsair keyboard, which is, again, sounds very nice. So that's helping out a little bit here as well. Okay, so now with the microphone in front, the cable's kind of in my way. I'm just going to do this with one hand. So that was with the keyboard behind it. And you probably noticed the lights go off and then on a little bit there. That's because it sometimes wasn't picking up anything, which is pretty cool. So I think behind it, it probably sounds pretty good. Again, we're on the stock stand here, which you can adjust the microphone forward and back, and you can unscrew it or off the stand here and then mount it on a regular boom arm if you want, which is what I think most people would do. I just, again, leave mine sitting on a desk here because I test so many and it's just easier to swap out. But the stand, nothing fancy. You got a little rubber base on the bottom, so it's not going to slide out on you. As far as vibration, you can see it turning red. So I don't think there's much good vibration in there. So again, a boom arm is probably going to be definitely beneficial. By the way, as far as muting it, again, this button on the front here, you can adjust it in the software if you want to do microphone volume or the headset volume, which is 3.5 is on the back. Let me show you this real quick here. So we turned it down, you saw it turned red, which means, okay, your microphone's going to be muted. It's going to be really low, so you're going to want to crank it up till it gets a little bit into the red. We'll turn it down to 65, which I believe is what it's out of the box. But anyways, up on top of the microphone here is your mute button. So then you can just tap it again and it's back on. So it's really nice. What I love about it is, again, I'm going to go quiet. Your microphone is active, but again, there's no lights on it, so you don't got this crazy disco. But once you talk, it gives you those notifications. Hey, okay, we're live, and this is what you're sounding like. And then, of course, when you mute it, it turns red. It's, again, doing everything you need, and that's what I love, the simplicity, and again, the notifications to what I want. And now you're hearing the Razer Seiren V2x, the original mini Seiren, the budget microphone. Not the new one yet, we will plug that in, but I wanted to get the sound sample of the original one before we jump to the new one to give us that really good change there. Now, a couple of things is the stand on both of these, the smaller Seirens, they are the exact same, and again, the adjustability is the exact same. You can twist it right around there. They don't feel like premium microphones by any means. They definitely feel budget, but of course, a microphone's not something that's in your hand like a mouse or a keyboard constantly. It just sits there and does what it does. The difference, again, on the new Seiren, which we're going to test here shortly, it has that touch mute function just like the high-end Chroma one. Over here on the original, or the V2 at least, it has the button on the front. So you can see it's green right here. You press it and then it turns green again. So pro and con of that, you got a physical button there, so you know you're not like, oh, am I touching it? Are my hands too sweaty? This, that, or the other. The other thing about a physical button like that is you can put a windscreen over a microphone like this, which is something real nice. Like over here on the Elgato, I can't do it because the mute button's right there. On the Seiren Chroma, you can't do it because the mute button's on top. Same with HyperX microphones. So something like this where you got the physical button on the front is cool because if you got a lot of P's and T's like me, or if you got fan noise or anything like that, you can still put a screen over it and still access your mute button, which is a nice little feature right there. But anyways, again, this is the V2x Seiren. Let's plug up the new one and see if it sounds any better. And now you're hearing the Razer Seiren V3 Mini. I've been trying to keep the same distance between each microphone, so again, hopefully it's fair. But again, if it's up here on a boom, you can see what it would sound like up here as well. Now, no lighting on this. The only lighting you have is that little green dot in the front. Hopefully you guys can see that over there in the camera. And then the mute function is, again, that tap to mute, just like over on the Chroma. So as you saw, the light turned red up there and then green when it's active. Simple and to the point. I really love it, right? There's no fluff in this at all, right? It's your microphone. You got that cool tap to mute function. My concern, again, is with the tap to mute. How are my P's and T's, how they can come out. When I'm looking at my recording or even a graph on Razer Synapse software here, it's not peaking much at all unless I come right up on it. When I come on it, then it starts jumping into the yellow here. And I've been keeping the volume the same on all of them. And again, I don't tweak anything. But as far as this microphone, again, the stand is the exact same as the X. They're just calling this one a Mini. Compared, you know, this one has that metal grate up there. This one over here is plastic. So I don't know, that one might have a little bit loft to it. But again, they both feel like budget microphones for sure, but like I stated, it doesn't matter. The microphone's going to sit there. It's how does it sound. And I'm really curious about this one because I love the V2X one. Again, being a budget microphone with the quality it packs, did they improve it over here? Again, I'm excited to see the comparison of that. We're going to do, let me make sure my keyboard's off. We're going to do a quick sound test of the keyboard behind it here. And then I'm going to go ahead and take the microphone and put it behind the keyboard so the keyboard's in front. So say if you're on a meeting or something, you don't got it on a fancy boom arm. So there is the Seiren V3 Mini, again with the keyboard, but as I stated, even with the Chroma one, you can unscrew this microphone and then you got your threads on the bottom, so you can put it right over here on a boom arm, which is usually, again, if I'm not using a bass stand, I do with the Elgato. You can kind of put it upside down right here, and then you got that mute button. So if you're on your keyboard, WASD, and boop, you go up and just tap to mute function that, which is really cool. I love that, being able to do that simplistic right there with the microphone. But what I want to do now, since we listened to all of those, I want to plug up one budget comparison on this. Since we did the high-end comparison with the Wave, I want to do the comparison again up to the Logitech Orb. Now you're hearing the Logitech or Yeti Orb. This is the newest one that came out, and I didn't watch my video on this, but if I recall, I was pretty happy with the sound of this microphone. I will tell you, as far as feel of the microphone, this thing feels like something you got out of an arcade grab machine. Again, it feels very plasticky, incredibly lightweight. Again, these other ones feel budget as well, but just in the hand, you pick this up, it's like, yo, what the heck, you know, it feels chintzy. But of course, again, I say it over and over, that doesn't matter because it's going to be sitting there, or you're going to have it up on an arm or whatever. You're not going to be messing with it, so you're not going to know how it feels really, right? It really matters how does it sound. And this is the Orb. Let's go and do that quick. Make sure I got my keyboard off, keyboard behind. We'll do the keyboard in front. I forgot to do it with the Seiren X actually. Okay, so there we go with the little keyboard test. As far as, so I can see it picking up a lot of that, especially on the desk. So maybe something like this you'd want on an arm. I think you need to get an arm for pretty darn cheap these days. So it's always definitely a good upgrade right there. But as far as this microphone, the thing I don't like is I don't think there's any mute function on it. If I remember correctly, you actually have to mute it within it. Like there's no touch or anything, which is a real bummer. Like that's big time. Like I need a mute button on my microphone, you know what I mean? But again, why I'm doing this test here is just to test a budget option to a budget option and see what they sound like. So now that we had a good listen to all of our microphones, again, the Seiren V3 Chroma and then the Seiren V3 Mini, we are back on the Elgato Wave 3 here, just so you know what you're listening to. And I listened to all these microphone playbacks, the Orb, the Elgato, all of them back, and I listened to them with a very good pair of headphones, being the Meze Imperium 2s, which a review coming on those shortly, $3,000 headphones, very crystal clear, and you can really get all that detail out of them. And no joke here, all of these microphones sounded surprisingly very, very good. I will, honestly, you know, it's not too much a microphone can outtake my Wave 3. I still love it, and I think it sounded great, but these two microphones sounded phenomenal. I think, would I give the V3 Chroma the edge over the Wave 3? The thing it did better when I was listening to it is I got a lot of P's and T's, and you can hear that popping in your mouth whenever you're talking, you know what I mean, on the Wave 3. I didn't get that over on the Seiren, which is real nice. Now, the Seiren did have a little bit more bass and a little bit more body in it, so maybe it's, you know, not as natural as the Wave 3. So what are you looking for? More or less like that podcast type sound or that natural type of sound? It will be your personal preference. Again, I really like the Seiren V3 and the performance getting out of it. Now, this is coming in at $130. The V3 Mini is coming in at $60, which that one also sounded amazing. They both sounded phenomenal, but the V3 Chroma, I love the features and functions in it. They're a little bit better of a sound, natural, kind of killing a little bit about that echo and kind of room noise. It'll remove some of that, and that's what I really like. 'Cause in my game room, I don't have sound dampening stuff. It's just that natural type of setting right there. And what you're getting out of the gate at 130, I love it. I really love it. Will it change what I'm using? I don't know. I love the simplistic look. If I get an arm and just mount it right there, it sits there and you pretty much forget about it, you know? I've tested a lot of mics, and this might be the one that will replace my ever so favorite Wave 3. You know, I might use it a little bit in the background and see what people say whenever I'm using it. But right now with this core test, raw, no tweaking or anything, holy smokes, I really love that V3 Chroma. But all in all, thank you so much for coming by for this video. I hope you like this take here, just this raw, like let's review them together and see what we get, you know. Again, just that raw experience so you know what you're gonna get out of the box, no fluff behind it, right? We're testing it together here. So hopefully you enjoyed this take and hopefully it was able to help you out. If it did, please hit that thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe, and I hope to catch you in that next one. Bye now.